and you can always improve every single day. But that's just not the case, guys. Some days you just have bad days. Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 206. I hope you guys had a fabulous day, and I do hope you guys are doing better than yesterday. But the time is currently 7:02, and I know it's an hour later than I usually wake up, but honestly, yesterday I had probably the most amount of sleep I had. So, to make up for the past week of having poor sleep, I decided to stay in bed a little bit longer. Now, is it that I will sacrifice an hour of my time today? Yes, but is it going to be a wise choice to have that extra hour of sleep if that means making my day more productive? I reckon that's going to be a good choice. Now, I know a lot of us don't have the freedom to wake up whenever we want, but I do. And obviously, I'm not going to stay in bed for the whole day. That's going to be not optimal, but I reckon having that little bit of extra sleep, if you do fall asleep, will be totally worth it. That being said, I'm going to go shower up and get cleaned up, and I'm going to start my day. It's going to be absolutely amazing. The time is 11:24. So a few hours had passed since I woke up, and I didn't go to the gym today, even though I do feel a little bit better. I know that I'm definitely not fully recovered. If I do go to the gym today, most likely I won't produce the result I want to. I won't train as hard as I would like to, and I will probably feel shitty afterwards, which may lead to another shit day of sleep. And that isn't something I'm trying to prioritize right now. Training is important, but to sacrifice my sleep, to sacrifice my long term progress for just one day of training is definitely not ideal. We gotta plan for the long term because whether it's training, whether it's business, whether it's educating yourself or whether it's a relationship, you always want to plan for the long term, right? You don't want to just do it for the day. Do it because you feel like it, or do it today because you want to, right? You want to create a long term plan because success happens in a long term, guys, and those success that happens in a short term most likely won't last because people don't know how to handle all the success, the fame, the growth in such a short period of time. And most people ruin it because of that. And I don't want to be like that. But either way, what I'm gonna have today is the same thing, chicken and rice. Although this time I did something special with the chicken. Instead of microwaving it, I put it on the pan to fry it up a little bit because I did realize that this morning actually when I had chicken, I realized it was raw. So perhaps this batch of chicken I cooked wasn't cooked all the way. So that's probably not ideal. So I guess hopefully I don't get more diseases from this, but either way, it should be fine. That being said, I did some stretching today because I'm not going to the gym and I didn't do it yesterday. Did some reading and it was pretty troublesome for me. I spent an hour extra on top of that because I was just worrying too much, worrying about life, worrying about my breathing, and worrying about too much things. And I figured, guys, that if we worry about something too much, we end up making the situation worse for us. Instead of worrying about something to make it disappear, we actually make the situation much worse for ourselves. So if you guys are worried about something, I'm not saying don't care about it, don't be prudent or don't be cautious about it, but just know to don't pay too much attention to it. Because if you worry about it too much, that's going to be on your mind constantly. And if it's on your mind constantly, how do you think it'll go away? Because it won't. Like sometimes you just have to acknowledge it and accept it. And no matter the situation, if you already had accepted what it is going to happen, then most likely you'll find ways to deal with it. But the problem is that sometimes we just refuse to accept how things will turn out or to accept that maybe today we won't have a good sleep. But not accepting something, you're constantly fighting against it. And that way, you're never going to let go of it. You're always going to have sleep deprivation. You're always then going to be hurt more by the outcome because you never accepted it. That being said, guys, I'm going to have this meal, and right after this, I'm going to do some walking. And as you guys know, right after that, I'm going to get into do some work. So I'll see you guys then in a few hours. So, guys, it's been about 3 hours since I last had a meal. That means I'm going to have meal three, which is kale and beef, like always, and an apple, which is going to be absolutely exciting. What is also exciting is I'm halfway done with my work, and it only has been 2 hours into my work day, which is pretty great because normally it takes me about half the day to get one video out for my automation channel, which is quite surprising that I managed to do half of the work in 2 hours. Now, that is because in the start, I wasn't sure how to do certain tasks, and now over time, over repetition, it gets familiar, and obviously, then you can reduce the time and make certain tasks more effectively. So, I do aim to complete the rest of the work in an hour, which is just going to be editing, make a thumbnail, and just post that video, which shouldn't take longer than an hour if you think about it, if the video is 8 minutes. But because I have a very slow laptop, which you can tell by the constant lag through this webcam, is going to be pretty difficult. But either way, I'm going to try my best to make my time effectively, and I'll see how that goes. But it's going to be good because I know that either way, today I'll have a few hours left that I could use to educate myself, learn new skills, and improve on what I had already established, which is, yeah, it's going to be good, guys. I'll check up with you guys in around 3 hours and let you guys know how everything's going. The time is currently 6:12. So for the past few hours, I've been trying to get some more work done, but I did come into a roadblock, which got me a bit frustrated, and I did experience a fit of rage. Pretty close to punching a hole in my laptop, but I'm glad I didn't, because that definitely won't be a wise thing to do. And if today I had to class everything, if I had to class anything as a victory, God, I can't even speak properly at the moment, which is probably, as you can see, not the most ideal time of my life. But if I can class anything as a victory, it will be controlling my emotions, controlling my urge to let myself just flow out, because that definitely will be a clarity. And that's all I could say. It'll be absolutely clarity. But that being said, I'm going to take a cold shower because I definitely need to cool myself down. Just with everything that had been going on today, with the roadblocks I've been meeting, with just difficulties and challenges, and it just definitely hasn't been what I had expected today to be. But I also expect every day to be going as just fine. But that's just not the case, guys. I wish that's just life. You go through life with no challenges. Every day is the same. Every day is how you wish to be, and you can always improve every single day. But that's just not the case, guys. Some days you just have bad days. Not if you're sick, but some days you just come in contact with a challenge that you just can't seem to overcome. And that can frustrate you for quite a while. And especially that doesn't help if you're in a room that's feeling like a sauna and you absolutely are sweating like an absolute whatever, because I am hot ass right now. So I'm gonna go take a shower, and that's really all I gotta say because I don't know what else to say because I'm sweating balls at the moment. So I'm gonna go take a shower, and I'll probably see you guys in a few hours where I can cool myself down and just recenter myself and recenter my inner peace and calmness. So this pretty much wraps it up for the day, and the time is currently 7:55. So almost 8 o'clock, but I'm gonna end it up here because I decided to have dinner much earlier now on because I realized that maybe I'm having poor sleep because of I have been eating dinner towards a very late time or very close to bedtime. And you guys see, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but if you have carbohydrates, you're supposed to sleep better because it gives you brain fog. It gives your mind this cloudness so you don't think as much. And that's true. But if you have too much of it, and this is a problem, when you have too much of it, it becomes a problem. You feel stuffed, you have all this food in your tummy, but also because it's carbohydrates, it gives you this spark of energy, a lot of energy which you don't need towards the night, especially if you're just going to sleep. But that being said, I'm going to have some delicious salmon and rice, which I'll teleport right. And guys, this is a hefty amount of salmon and rice. Obviously, way too much rice and too little salmon, but this is going to be absolutely delicious. I'm looking forward to it. But that being said, today is the first week of the 30-day sprint. Now, I could say this week didn't go exactly as I had planned, although I had definitely picked up a lot, and I mean a lot of good habits, and I had eliminated all the bad habits I wanted to in my life. But obviously, I would like it to go much more smooth and smooth sailing. But obviously, I got sick. There were some days where I just didn't feel like it to push myself towards where I want to be because of my sickness. And I also had some time off my training, which definitely isn't ideal. But hey, that's life. And it's only been the first week. We still have 3 more weeks to go. And I could say from what I had learned in this week, in the future, it will only be better because this lesson will teach me for a very long time and I will never forget this because, hey, if you forget about what you learned, then you're a fool. And if you get punished again, then that's on you. That being said, I hope you guys had learned something from this, but if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. But until then, good night.